West Ham take the trip over to the Brentford Community Stadiums, take on, of course, Brentford, a side that we have never beaten in the Premier League. We did have success over them earlier in the season, the FA Cup, but they are a side we have failed to beat so far on numerous occasions in the Premier League. We're back to West Ham official. I hope you are all well, of course, in this game that sits in the middle of two crucial European semi-finals for the Hammers. I think attentions are firmly on next Thursday, which will please our guests, that is for sure. I hope you are a well match preview for Brentford versus West Ham. Brentford, Clive is joining me. Clive, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Jake. I will just pull you up on one thing. Not only have you not beaten us in the Premier League, you haven't even got a draw. But you failed to say that, didn't you? Played 3, lost 3.
Yeah, we do not have a good record. You and Brighton. It's the beginning with B. Sides that we just don't do well against. Bogey Brighton, Bogey Brentford, both of you we fail to have victory against. But of course, that FA Cup game earlier on in the season, I think that was Asai Ben Rama who got on the score sheet against his former club. So maybe that might give us some confidence. But you do have a very good record against us. And as I said, Clive, with this probably not being our priority over the next couple of weeks, I think that suits you quite nicely.
Absolutely suits me right down to the ground, yeah. Definitely. And with Leeds not winning today, you're all but safe, sir.
Yeah, exactly. So, we've managed to get away from that relegation zone. Now we're pretty much safe. I don't think Leeds can catch us. But an absolute calamity from us. But now we're safe in the Premier League, and of course our attentions are most definitely on Europe. But in terms of Brentford's season, how have you seen it? How's it gone for you boys?
It's been absolutely brilliant, mate. Unbelievable. The aim is just to improve every season. We never give 10th place is our goal or anything like that. It's just improve each season, which we're doing. I'm not looking forward to next season, but this season has been an absolute blast. And Ivan Toney, well, what a man. What a man.
There's been, there was times this season where there's been these 4 sides that have lingered around the European spots. You've had Fulham, Brighton and Aston Villa. Was there ever a point this season when you thought there could have been a chance of getting European football?
There was, yeah. A few weeks ago, we'd gone on a run of 12 without defeat. We were getting there. And I was dreaming of Europe. It wouldn't have done us any good. But yeah, for a little while I was dreaming of Europe. And we're still in with a chance, but I don't believe for 1 second we will. But to be at this stage of the season and say that we could still make Europe.
Yeah. It's a brilliant, achievement for Brentford. Sat on 50 points with 35 games played.
7 points more than last season.
Well, yeah, there you go. And just 5 points, off of a European spot is the conference, but we don't mind that around here. And you're sat 8 points above Chelsea as it stands, and it's been certainly a funny season with some different sides up there. And I don't mind it at all. It seems like us and Leicester have challenged the Big Six in the past. It seems like teams of obviously Newcastle are up there for obvious reasons, but there are more sides challenging, and Chelsea have dropped back down. But this is going to be a difficult game for us, I think. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we've never beaten you in the Premier League or got a draw, so our record isn't good. I'm hoping, and I think the majority of the fan base from a West Ham perspective is hoping that Moyes completely changes it and doesn't play any of the players that he intends to play on Thursday. If it were me, I'd play the under-21s, but that's just me. The priority's got to be on that game. In terms of team news, I've had a little look at the Brentford website. It seems like Strakosha, Norgard, Janssen, Lewis Potter are out. Is there any key misses out for you currently?
Yeah, Christian Norgard. He's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant in defence. He marshals it. He's going to be the captain when Ivan Toney, when Pontus Jansson leaves. Strakosha, he's a goalkeeper. I've never seen him play. He's only played 1 cup game, and he was awful then. Lewis Potter, no great shakes. He's just we brought him in from Hull, and he's just settling into the team at the moment. No great shakes that he's out. But yeah, Christian Norgard, we miss him big time.
Yeah. I think, with those big centre halves, the first thing that comes to mind with Brentford is those big centre halves there that will, bully the centre forward off the ball. I'm expecting Antonio not to play because I expect him to play next Thursday. So I would presume it'll be Danny Ings up front, who I think could get completely bullied off the ball by big and physical centre halves. Do you think that could be what happens?
It could be, yeah, but then Danny Ings is no mug. Even if you play your weakest team, your weakest players have got something to prove, so they'll give us a game. A lot of teams this season say, Brentford, they've been a physical team and bullying players. I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but I don't see it. But then being big and bullies, you've got to do that in the Premier League, haven't you?
Yeah, you do, certainly. Let's see, we've got in the chat. I hope you are all well. Usual suspect. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. You say this game really does matter. There seems to be, two sides of it where, of course, this game does matter, but I think most of us are looking forward to Thursday. And now that we're mathematically safe, getting that win against Manchester United was just absolutely imperative for us to, if we didn't win that match, then we'd have to be going full strength in this game, because then we'd be pushed back down into it with a couple of games to go, needing to get some points out of it. But we're not in that position now, and we're in a comfortable position where we know we're not going to get pulled back down into a relegation battle. So this game for us, we're on the beach now in the Premier League, not in Europe by any stretch, but we're on the beach in the Premier League. Brentford have still got plenty to play for, and for them to solidify that sort of top half position, I think would be absolutely massive for Brentford.
Yeah, it will. And what will be massive for the fans is we've got our own little league, the West London League, and to finish top of Fulham and Chelsea, that's the icing on the cake.
Yeah, definitely. I forgot about that. Brilliant. Yeah,
and when you look at the league table, and you got Arsenal, Tottenham, Brentford in London order. Can't ask for any more than that at the moment.
No, very good indeed. Terry, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Leeds and Saints can't catch us mathematically. I don't think. I think Leeds can, but it's got to be a 15-goal swing or something, and they ain't scoring 15 and not letting none in. So, so that is all but done there. Everyone else having a little chat to each other. Mandy says Spurs are going to finish 7th. I'm going to love the look on Sean. Honestly, I can't wait. I prefer for Spurs to finish 7th than 8th, because I honestly just want to see Sean's face when they finish at 7th and get Conference League. Budgie, thanks for joining us. I think Lanzini and the under-18s would be fun to watch. That's what I'd do. Yeah, if I was to run through who I'd play, I would play Fabianski in goal. Kera would be in there for me in some capacity. Ogbonna, hopefully, if he's fit, as well. Emerson, because he hasn't played in the European game. So I start Downs and Lanzini in midfield, maybe with Fornals there. Cornet on one side, Danny Ings down the middle, and maybe Fornals goes up wide. I'm not sure, but Moyes has got to work out in some capacity how we can rest as many players as possible, because we did look quite tired on Thursday night, and the fresh legs is definitely needed if we want any chance of going out there and putting a good performance on Thursday night. So rotation is needed, and by no means do I think that our second string side is awful. There's some pretty decent players in there. Downs, the midfielder, proved himself.
You're reeling off there, Jake.
Pardon?
There are some big names that you're reeling off there.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And they've got to give themselves their opportunity and put some doubt in Moyes' mind there. Maxwell Cornet, we signed him for £20 million from Burnley. He's barely got a sniff yet. This would be a perfect opportunity for him to come in. Fornals has barely had any game time this season. Be good to get him in there as well. There's plenty Moyes can do with quite a big squad we've got there now. But I've just got a funny feeling and an instinct that Moyes will still go strong for this game and still play the majority of the players. But it's definitely going to be an interesting lineup. That is for sure. Gary says tomorrow's game is not important. It should be mathematically safe after Monday. Thursday is all that matters. Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with that. Brentford are a good side. They certainly are. Everybody having a little chat to each other. Do you think, now one question of course is the banning of Tony. Do you think he'll be playing football next season?
At some point, but not for the start of it. And I just don't get why he's not banned already.
Yeah, I agree.
This has been just floating around for too long.
Yeah.
Most Brentford fans would have wanted him banned a couple of months ago when we were safe and get that ban started. But I reckon it's going to be 6 months myself. So if they don't bring that into effect until June or July, that's his season over next year, isn't it?
Silly. Bit silly. Yeah.
And it'll cost us, what, £60 million? 20 goals this season. That makes him a £60 million striker, end of.
Yeah. I think it's been very peculiar how they've sort of waited and haven't done anything yet. And I don't think it's fair on Tony himself. I don't think it's fair on Brentford, because they could drop it at any and
a couple of rumours I've heard, Jake, is he's appealed against a small number of these bets. Why he's appealed against them, I don't know, but a couple of people have been saying that his solicitors are challenging the entire thing about him being banned. Now, how much truth is in that, I don't know. I know as much as you about it, but I've heard a couple of Brentford fans saying that where they got that from, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's I think the whole thing's a bit silly. If I'm honest, in terms of holding out, because they could just drop the ban at any point, and that could be detrimental to any sort of part of the season for Brentford, whether it comes at the start of next season.
Let's be honest, Jake. They should drop the bleeding charges. If he's not betting on his own team or games where he has an influence, what the hell is wrong with a player having like a 5-team accumulator on a Saturday afternoon? What is so wrong with that? I just don't get it. I know you can't bet on your own teams, but I don't know. And then when you have all these betting sponsorships as well, it just makes a mockery of the whole thing, doesn't it?
Yeah. We'll see what happens in that case for sure. Gary says Fabianski, Johnson, Oggy, Zuma, Emerson, Souček, Lanzini, Downs, Cornet, Ings, and Fornals would be my 11. Mubama to come on as a sub. Yeah, I think that's fair. Gary's put in a couple of first team players there, which I think is probably right, because Moyes won't completely change the whole side. But yeah, I think that's fair. And it's not an awful side. I still think that's a pretty good side. It will give Brentford a game. If we put out a side on that, I do think Brentford will beat us, but it will give us a game. Chelsea have equalised.
From a Brentford's fan point of view, I'd like to see Ben Rama playing again.
Yeah, it would surprise me, if I'm honest, because he played on Thursday and he's sort of solidified his spot. Mind you, Thursday I thought he was excellent. It's the first time for a while where I've said he played very well on Thursday. He's looked more at home this season. Because Paqueta's come in, a player that's sort of similar to him, so they've been doing nice little 1-2s. He's been getting more involved in the game. In that sense, he has become better this season, but it would surprise me if he plays tomorrow, because he is our first choice starting left winger, and I would presume Moyes would prioritise him for Thursday. But I have no idea what Moyes is going to do. So who knows? But yeah, I see why you said that. He could play, but it would surprise me at the same time. Let's have a look at some more of your comments. Budgie says, does your guest remember a young academy player called Siaka Jata for Brentford? He's my brother-in-law's nephew. No,
I don't. No, okay. Definitely not.
Sorry, Budgie. Right, let's move on to some predictions then. Clive, what is your prediction?
I'm going to set my neck out. Can I give 2?
Yeah, crack on.
My heart says 3-0. My head says 1-0.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'd take a 1-0 loss now if you give it to me, to be honest with you. As long as we don't get embarrassed, I'm not particularly bothered, because and I think that echoes most of the fan base for me, because as I've said, the priority is on Thursday. So as long as we don't get battered 3 or 4-0, I don't think it's in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it really matters. And the placement of games against Brentford has been a little bit unfortunate for us, because I think I remember last year it was our worst away performance last year. I think we played Seville on the Thursday, we played you on the Sunday, and we were completely just out of our feet, and you beat us 2-0.
It's funny how people see the game, because you're a West Ham fan and you saw it as one of West Ham's worst games. I went to the game and I saw it as a brilliant Brentford performance. Just totally dominated you.
Yeah.
Didn't give you a chance to play.
Yeah. I think it's sort of
the game at Griffin Park, at Lionel Road, I mean.
Yeah. That one. Yeah. So it's interesting to see how people take it. For me, Brentford, definitely deserve to win that game, and I can probably see a similar outcome coming this time round at the Brentford Community Stadium. I'm going to go 0-0 because I can't predict a loss. But
no, it won't be 0-0, mate. Definitely won't be 0-0. There'll be goals in it. You may even score. You're going to have to be good to get past our defence. Ben Mee this season has been Ben Mee. He's been immense. Free signing, but without any doubt, he's getting my vote for player of the season. Despite
because he left Burnley, didn't he? And Burnley have come back up now. And yeah, I haven't really, followed Brentford too much. But if that's how good he's been,
Ben Mee signing. He's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And he ousted Pontus Jansson, who's been our centre back for a few years now. He ousted him. Pontus was injured, but once he got back, there's no way he was going to break back into the team. That was Ben Mee's spot. Ben Mee and Ethan Pinnock, best two centre backs in the country.
There we go. Team news for West Ham just before we go that Moyes mentioned yesterday. I don't think it particularly affects this game too much. He mentioned that Soufal has just started jogging again, so he obviously won't be involved unless he's just going to walk around. So he will not be involved. Scamacca, we know, still out in Italy. Ogbonna, there's a couple of question marks on him because he suffered an illness, which is why Zuma came straight back in on Thursday night. So they're still assessing the sickness of Ogbonna. So I presume that's about 50-50. Moyes wasn't giving too much away. So we could or couldn't see Ogbonna as well tomorrow. So, there's a couple of question marks still left on players. Of course, Scamacca still out injured, as I said. Soufal still out injured. That's the solid absentees that we are aware of. And, of course, Ogbonna is 50-50 as well. There we go. Ben Mee has been Brentford's Craig Dawson. Solid. Yeah, I think that's, from what you've said, Clive, I think that's a solid and sort of, analogy to make. We signed Craig Dawson. He was a very, very good, cheap, cost £2 million, I think, player. And yeah, just a solid English centre half that is, that you can rely on. And if you've got him on a free deal and he's been brilliant, then what an absolute no-brainer and what a master stroke from whoever signed him. So I think it will be. I think we will make a game of it. I don't think we'll beat Brentford, but if we get a draw, I'll take it. If we get a 1-0 loss, I'll take it, to be honest with you. Priorities are set on Thursday. Clive, can you give us some final thoughts before I let you go?
Watch out for one of our players. He's been given the number 9 shirt. I read into that he's Ivan Toney's replacement. Kevin Shardy is a 20-year-old lad. We signed him from Freiburg. We got him on loan with a view to buy. We announced a couple of weeks ago that we're going to pay the £20 million for him. He's fast as anything, mate. Once his first goal comes in, they will start pouring in.
Brilliant. Not something with any confidence.
And on the assumption he's playing, he's the one to watch tomorrow, mate. That's my tip for you if you're going to watch a game somehow. Watch out for Kevin Shardy. Fast as anything.
We are the most paceless side in the Premier League, so we're going to have a fun afternoon.
Mate. He's going to skin you every time.
Hammerhead says, I'd rather us play the under-18s, no offence to Brentford, but this is a nothing game for us. Palace are 2-0 up. Wow, against... that's sort of two sides on the beach. They're playing Bournemouth, aren't they? Chelsea winning 2-1. That's good for us. Forest are losing, so that's good. I think that puts them out of sight as well. But yeah, thank you very much indeed, everybody, for watching. We'll bring you some matchday content tomorrow, of course, as we take the trip to the Brentford Community Stadium. Thanks, everybody, and we will see you soon. Clive, thanks for joining me.
Good to be here again, Jake. Good to be here again. Nice to chat with you, mate.
Thank you very much. From me, come on, you guys, enjoy the game tomorrow. Not too much, Clive, but enjoy the game, and we'll see you soon right here on West. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Cheers, Clive.